Randy Savage. Randy Savage was the first one. When he was getting ready, was to do his Loser Leave Town match with Lawler, when he was getting ready to go to WWF, it was then. Jimmy Hart had already left, I think, and was getting a lot of guys.
This is the early 80s?
Yeah. I would say Randy Savage, because he was like an idol. I couldn't believe I was in the ring. I was like, wow, you know. But Memphis TV, the week before, David Schultz had suplexed one of the Batten twins. Remember them? Martin Bradbury, one of them on the floor. And the next week, Randy was working me. And there's a tape of it. Buddy of mine's got, I want that so bad. And I went 11 minutes with Randy, and he laid out the match and everything, and he made me look good, which was hard to do then. And he suplexed me on the floor, and I couldn't believe it. He called it, and he goes, can you take a suplex on the floor, brother? And I thought, well, I ain't got no choice, you know. But I said, sure, like that. You didn't say no to nothing, especially when a veteran guy like that dude. You'd say, sure, I'll try. You know what I mean? You know, and I can remember that, and I'm thinking, I thought he paralyzed me, and afterwards he did, you know, and of course his elbow and everything. And afterwards, he come up, and he was going down the hall. He was helping Lawler book the place, and they were doing big business.
Talking on Memphis, right?
Yeah. It was Memphis Channel 5 studio, and I can remember going up to him and going, "Hey, Randy, thank you very much," because he just went real fast, and I didn't really get a chance to tell him thank you because I was just so honored. But I felt like I was paralyzed, and. Back then, nobody did stuff like that. They didn't suplex nobody on the floor. You didn't see that. Full-blown holding you up suplex and jumping up with you and going and all that. And I can remember running up to him and grabbing. I said, "Hey, Randy," I said, "thank you very much. Thank us as an honor." I said, "Man," I said, I was like, yes. But I was hurt, man. I was hurt. And he was a badass. Randy Savage was a badass. And he goes, "Kid," he looks at me and he goes, "Kid," he goes, "never thank someone that suplexes you on the floor." And I looked and I went, "You got a point there." And I walked out like, oh. The next day I went to American Fitness. They had a jacuzzi, sauna, hot tub. I was in all three of them all day, man. But that was a big deal to me.
It was a lot of fun. You know, I've always really enjoyed being by myself. I had a great time, you know, of course, in my early years working with Danny Spivey and tagging up with the Horsemen and stuff like that and things like that. But working with Randy was probably a little more fun than the rest of them. You know, he was it was funny too. I know you've heard the stories about interviews. When you're doing an interview with Randy, he always got to try to end the interview. I don't care how many seconds it lasted. I went, "And we're done." And yeah, you know, so this was like. And who was really fun to watch do that with him was Scott Hall. Scott would never stop. He'd go, "Oh yeah," and "do my back," and you know, it was a never-ending deal. They had to redo the interview because 2 minutes over, you know. But other than that, I mean, we had a lot of fun. He was, was talking the story to Dallas Page earlier. I worked with Randy some house shows. Most of the time I worked with Randy, he was substituting for someone who didn't show up.
Okay.
And usually, especially in WWE, you know, baby faces go over every night. And if there's a replacement, the baby face for sure goes over.
Right.
Randy comes over and says, I said, "What's going to do now?" He goes, "I'm taking the Powerbomb." Because they were building me for Hogan for WrestleMania at that point.
Okay.
So Randy's a businessman.
Yeah.
He's got, little weird, things. We're all weird in our own ways, you know. I'm called weird because I don't party, go to bed early, I get up early, I work out twice a day on the road. It's unheard of. So, we all have our little...
Gotcha. Intricacies.
Intricacies or little weird points.
Mike Graham comes in the dressing room. There's nobody in there but Savage, myself, my brother, and Sting. Mike Graham comes in and gives the finishes and stuff like that. He gives us a finish that's so long, nobody can remember it. And he's doing it on purpose. But we know it's not him doing it, it's Ric Flair. Okay, me and my brother already know they want us to fail, They done tried it a few times to trip us up, but we always get by, We always get by. It was kind of it was kind of funny how they do stuff like that. And we like, okay, here come another hurdle, you know. But we had people in our corner, like Paul Orndorff, even Mike Graham. This wasn't him being malicious. We knew it was coming from somewhere else. Arn Anderson. They were all in our corner. Mike Graham leaves the dressing room. And you can see it on his face, like, he didn't, you know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
But, you know, he got a job to do. Nobody held him. You know, nobody looked at him like he's trying to be malicious or anything like that. Because we knew it wasn't Mike. Mike ain't that kind of person. But anyway, soon as he walks out the fucking door, Randy Savage goes into a John Tenta type rap. This is no lie. This is honest to God truth. And I remember Sting saying, "Hey guys, I just want to let you guys know, I ain't got nothing to do with this." You know what I'm saying? He in the match. Sting go, "I just want to let y'all know, brother, I ain't got nothing to do with this." You know, Randy Savage, "Motherfucker, I kick his motherfucker. Who the fuck he think he fucking with? He trying to fuck my fucking career up. God damn it." And we like, me and my brother just sitting back, because they,
So is this how you found out it was Flair who was behind it?
yeah, because I heard,
okay.
well, he was a booker at that time.
Oh,
Who
okay.
else?
Okay, all right.
You know what I'm saying? So, didn't take a genius to figure that out,
Okay.
you know. But the thing is, at the time, we didn't know him and Savage had heat.
Mm-hmm.
Not until Savage goes into this rant, you know. And man, this fucking dude was mad. It was a miniature version of John Tenta, you know. I forgot all about this until we just started talking about this. And I was like, holy shit. Because you remember at that time, Randy Savage's finish was when he go to the top rope and he comes off with his elbow.
Right, yeah. The elbow drop.
Well, Mike Graham had implemented all that, and my brother's supposed to kick out.
To kill his finish.
Yes. And so he's mad, brother. He's fucking upset. Motherfucker, he trying to kill my fucking gimmick. Motherfucker, I'll kick his ass. I'm like, damn. I said, dawg, calm down, bro. I said, calm down, man. We ain't got to do that. And Savage looked at us and like, hey, man, y'all don't, you know, because you don't do what you've been told, you know, you get reprimanded. I'm like, no, man, we got to do that shit, man. I said, because they trying to fuck with us, too. I said, what the fuck they going to do, fire us? They going to fire us anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we didn't fucking give a shit no more.
Right.
You know? So I said, no. I said, come off the top rope with the double sledgehammer, hit my brother in the head, and I'll make a save. Then it calmed him down. He was like, really, man? You don't care? I said, no, man, we don't fucking give a shit. What the fuck? So, and Sting was like, brother, I don't know how y'all gonna. I said, dog, we'll do what we do. So me and my brother looked at us. I said, man, you just remember one half, and I remember the other half. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of put it together. And I mean, it was a bunch of dumb shit he put in there. You crawl over here and you grab his leg. That kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? And stuff just didn't even make sense, but he put it in anyway. So we go. And we went out there and nailed every fucking thing that he put in that fucking match. Yes. Went in that,
and still protected Savage's finish.
And still protected his finish.
Yeah.
And then the match goes off. You know, the match, you know, I can't remember. I think somebody else hit the ring and it became a disqualification or some shit like that. And I remember Paul Orndorff coming back through the curtain and doing like this and giving us the thumbs up. Then when we got back in the dressing room, Mike Graham stuck his head in and gave us the thumbs up. This happened. And after that, Hogan came in and Flair was out. And Hogan came in and they told him he came in and evaluated talent. And Hogan told us this. He was like, man, that's your best tag team. Why aren't you giving them a push? That's when the Harlem Heat thing took off.
Wow. That was the genesis of it, that whole deal right there.
Right.
They tried to fuck you guys. You unfucked it up and fucked them.
No, we didn't fuck anybody.
No, what I'm saying, like the entire.
Oh, no. You're talking about the match.
Yeah.
Yeah. We reversed everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, we reversed everything. You know, so But the thing was, I don't know if Rick knew what the finish was. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't. But then again, nobody came up to us and go, "Hey, man, we told y'all to do this and y'all didn't do that." Nobody ever said that, so we don't know what happened.
Right.
Maybe they overlooked it, or maybe he thought Mike Graham came in and didn't tell us that. I don't know. We never discussed it. We never had a conversation with anything about it. But that happened.
Wow.
And I just remember Randy Savage wanting to beat the shit out of fucking Ric Flair. And I'm like, man, that's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck you gonna beat him up for? Over a fucking finish? You know what I'm saying? I was like, golly, man. I mean, he was upset. I forgot about that. That was a similar John Tenta type thing, man. And after that, me and Randy, my brother, were really, really cool because he always appreciated that, man, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was always cool.
A lot of talk about the matches that I had with Flair, but also more so than not, the match that's brought up with Savage and I at WrestleMania 3 and how the two of us went out there and stole the show.
As a kid, I remember thinking that was such an amazing match, too. The only criticism I've ever heard about that match, and it's very, very small, was the involvement with George the Animal Steele. Do you think, is there any credit to that, or do you think that just enjoy the entire match for what it was?
Well, just enjoy the entire match for what it was, but understanding that George was out there and the respect that I give for that man for the number of years that he's been in the business at that time, just had to give him a little something for that match. Just out of the kindness of the hearts of everybody involved.
Randy's one of the great. I put him right behind Steamboat.
Oh, okay, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that match, you might be able to help me. Maybe it was 94. They had, it was him and Steamboat in WrestleMania.
87, I think it was.
Was it 80? Yeah. It wasn't 94. 87. That was one of the greatest matches I ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
I think and all the boys talk about it. When the boys talk about your match and being positive about it, it was a good match.
Yeah.
And I saw him work several times, and I was just, wow. It's good stuff. They were wide open, man.
Yeah.
They didn't mess around. It was nonstop, up and down, and Steamboat and Ricky worked. There was good chemistry, as you said earlier.
What were your initial impressions of the Macho Man, Randy Savage?
Loved him. Tremendous performer. One of the best I've ever seen. I've always said the greatest match that I've ever witnessed in my life was WrestleMania 3, Macho Man against Ricky Steamboat. I don't think there's ever been a match on this planet that was better than that one.
Behind the scenes, we've done interviews with a ton of the boys, and they say he was really protective of Elizabeth, obviously.
Why not? It's his wife.
Did you see anything like the paranoia or anything? I've heard stories where he would lock her in closets and...
Oh, I don't know if he locked her in closet, but he did hover over her and really never let her out of his sight too much. But you know what? I never paid attention to that because I wasn't that type of person. I wasn't going to hit on Elizabeth. I wasn't going to do so. Really, to me, I took care of myself, and I just looked at Macho and Elizabeth as two performers, and I treated them accordingly with respect of what they did.
Your Macho, though, to me, I thought it was him speaking.
Randy hurts, though.
I think Randy hurts every wrestling fan.
A funny story about Randy and Leslie Nielsen. When Leslie Nielsen met Randy, and we were out by the pool at Vince's house. And, hey, brother, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Huh? Yeah, and more champagne. And Leslie and I walk off, and he says, boy, he's doing that voice. He won't be able to do that very long. I said, he ain't doing a voice. And he's like, no, he won't be able to do that forever. Watch that. I said, yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's his voice. That's how
he wasn't doing a voice. He was just talking to you there, man.
So even his cadence was just like that in real life. Like, I know his voice is like that, but even his cadence is, oh, yo, I'm gonna.
What are you talking about?
You do the high to low thing.
You do, yeah.
Hawk and me were party dogs. We went out, had fun, stayed out all night drinking. I mean, Hawk was a great guy, great individual. I mean, I used to love, especially when he beat up Randy Savage, but left him lying there.
For the fans that don't know, can you briefly tell that story?
What, the Hawk? Well, it's something, Hawk broke up with his girlfriend, who was the governor's daughter, whatever, some politician. And he broke up with her, and whatever reason, Randy Savage ended up with her. Right, and they were in Japan. we're all in Japan. We're doing a big show in Japan, and some words were going on about this, and Randy was mouthing off about, Hawk had her now. Hawk was dating her now. So now Randy's running his mouth about her. This, that, and that, what he did, I guess. Ran his mouth to the wrong guy. Now, Hawk is, the people say I'm mean, Hawk's right there with me. He don't take shit from nobody. Nobody. And from what I understand, they're playing Randy's music, and they played the whole song, went through, and no Randy. And they restarted the song like a bunch of dummies, but that's the Japanese for you. And no Randy. So everybody's freaking out. Where the heck's Randy? Well, he's lying back in the dressing room. Hawk laid him out. Split him open, laid him out. He's laying there in full blood. He wasn't that tough till we run his mouth to Hawk. See, there's a lot of wannabe tough guys. Then there's legitimate tough guys. And what people don't understand, what happens in that dressing room, stays in that dressing room. Apparently he stayed.
Randy Savage
that was funny.
said something that I won't get into to a person I care very much, very disrespectful. Because this person asked me to let it go, I did let it go. He had the hots for this very person who, he got the living shit kicked out of him over there. Simple bitch slap, knocked him over.
Open hand slap.
And I was on interferon for my liver at the time. I was the weakest in my career and hadn't been lifting weights, but it did the hatred that I had involved for him. So now
he was looking Hawk right in the eyes.
3 months ago, we went to a Kid Rock concert. We had backstage passes, and he came back. And certainly after whipping his ass the way I did the first time, I wouldn't think he'd want to do that again and get his ass kicked again. And I had let bygones be bygones. And so I was talking to one of the guys from the band members here, and he came around. I see him coming around, and I had told security ahead of time that I had a problem with this guy. Some years ago. I went to shake his hand. He pushed my hand away. The guy was sitting right here. I was talking to him. I said, no big deal. And he sucked me over here. And you know, he sucked me. I didn't see it coming. And I'm telling you, if I sucker somebody and they don't see it coming, first of all, I don't sucker people. I'm looking them right in the eyes. If I sucker them, by God, if they don't buckle a knee or go down, I'm on deep shit, I figured. And I steered him up against a wall, and I was going to turn him right towards the shitter. Hopefully he would, trip over the crap, and I weighed the crap over. But everybody pulls all back, this and that, and anything. The cops came, so I just thought to get the hell out of there. Now there's a lawsuit. The lawsuit stems from Gorgeous Gash, or Gorgeous Cunt, or Gorgeous George, where you want to call her, a wigger of all sorts, who is white but talks kind of like a wigger. And she is now doing porn movies, so she's really. I told him, you don't know what misery is. First of all, you're going to get sued, and he's saying this should be between the boys, but not when his Gorgeous George, trash talking, trailer park piece of crap, and her sister attacked my wife for no reason at all, gave her tinnitus in the ear, where she can't hear. She thinks she hears bells all the time. She thinks the phone's ringing all the time. I cannot shout certain things to her without having gone to and saying to her right in her ear. So there's a problem there. The problem isn't with me and Randy. Randy will get his. First of all, Randy's the most miserable motherfucker I've ever met in my life. If you've ever met him, maybe you'll know that. But lawsuit's not so much intended towards him, although I'm sure he's going to have to pay some bills too. It's about hospital bills. This is about being two people getting attacked. Not me, namely. Nothing was done to me. He still hits like a girl. The thing of it is that they've damaged my wife. They called me and this was something. He seen me standing in front of him. I was down in the sound booth area. He had lousy seats. I guess he ain't got the connections I do. And he must have been fuming. And those two girls would say, yeah, do something, do something. Of course, he couldn't do it to me looking in the face. And the bottom line is, just think of it. Anybody can knock out anybody just about any time if they're not looking. And if you're not looking, even if I am looking at you, I'm going to knock you out. I'm hoping. Because if I don't, and you don't budge, you don't buckle a knee, and you come at me, then I'd be worried. And that's what happened there. Unfortunately, when the police came in and everything, no, fortunately. When the police came and everything, they broke it up. I head on my fucking way. I thought it out. I said, no, if I would have hit him back and done all this, it would be a dope. He wouldn't have nothing on me. Not only did I get to kick his ass in Japan, let him think about it for 3 years, he hit me with what I guess is his best punch. And when I wasn't looking, didn't faze me a bit. I got him. I wanted to do bad things to him. But when the cops came in there, it was time to leave. So we left, and then I got a lawyer. Not because of me. Randy can take it. I'll give Randy a baseball bat. If you could set this up on pay-per-view TV, I'll give him a baseball bat. He can put on all sorts of padding and everything. He can even put on headgear. Just give me my wrestling tights. And I'll take that baseball bat and stick it somewhere where the sun don't shine, and then maybe we'll throw a few baseball leagues up at me and we'll whack Randy with the baseball.
Yeah, you know, it was funny. We're over in Japan, and Randy's looking Hawk eye to eye, glasses in his hand, hat on like this.
Music's playing.
Music's playing. Flair's down the bottom of the stairs waiting for him to come to the ring, and Hawk just, you know, bitch slaps him.
After I confronted him,
and then what he did, he called her a liar.
Right.
And that set Hawk off.
Well, but he called her something worse for that, but we won't go into it. Yeah. My wife didn't want me to do anything because she thought that they were stirring the pot and they were checking her mind. So regardless of whatever happened, is that now we go to court, and if I were to run into Randy and Stevie and say, would you like to try again? Because I know I can hit myself hard.
There's a perfect example of a guy that gets on a little bit of testosterone or a little bit of whatever. So he ain't Randy Savage. He's totally changed his body around. Right. And that don't happen with androstenedione and minerals.
I told him misery was coming his way as Gorgeous George left his house, left not many things in it, and took one of his cars, and now she's doing porno films. You can pick her up on the internet.
I always thought Randy was a friend of mine throughout the. We never had to. Fortunately, we didn't have to wrestle each other too much because I heard he was a little hard to work with too, or he wouldn't really want to work my style. But as of late, you know, the guy doesn't seem to have a whole lot of friends, and nobody even talks about him anymore. And he lives about 2 miles from me on the beach down there. And we don't see him at all. You know, he's just very. I think after the Elizabeth thing and then this other girl, George kind of like broke his heart or something. So he's like not too friendly to be around anymore.
Right. A lot of people say it's paranoid. He used to lock up Elizabeth in the dressing room. So.
Oh yeah, and my wife was good friends with Elizabeth, and when they didn't live too far from us there in Florida. And when he would leave and go on the road with me or whatever, and we're on the road doing the towns, he would send his parents over there to take her to the store. I mean, it was that ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
But the poor girl was ready to break out.
Tense between you and Randy at the time when you started, I guess, having a relationship with Elizabeth at all?
Randy wasn't really with the company anymore at that point. So there was the tension that he had, and when Randy was around me, when he came back, worked to come together, he didn't show any tension at all.
Right.
I certainly had none towards him. So from my side of it, there was none.
Right.
No, I certainly had none towards him, and he didn't indicate anything towards me. So as far as I know, no, none at all.
What is your favorite memory of Elizabeth?
Oh God, there's a million, you know. A lot of good memories.
What do you remember about that day? What really happened? Because, so far we've only heard one side of the story. I'd like to hear.
Well, I respected her family. I've never discussed it because they want anything medical or anything else to be made private. So I respected her family's wishes on that.
Right.
All I know is she was fine 1 second, the next second I was calling 911. It was just mind-boggling. I mean, she was standing right next to me talking to me. The microwave. I was heating up mashed potatoes and meatloaf in the microwave for both of us. We were watching a movie. I was gone almost that whole day. But I'm going to my son's basketball tournaments, AU tournaments, and I just gotten home a little while before that. I was gone the whole day, and she was standing next to me 1 minute, and the next minute I thought she was asleep on the couch. And I was calling 911. So.
A lot of people, I don't want you to get mad at me for saying, a lot of people said that she could have been like pills or something like that.
No, there's actually, I can't say this, and God's honest truth, there was no element of any kind of like drugs in her system as far as illegal drugs. Let me put it that way.
What about like prescriptions, like somas or anything? Like
No, it was alcohol with it.
Okay.
As far as I know, no, her family's been very private, even with me.
Right.
And that's their choice.
Right.
But as far as I know, it was.
Is that what the autopsy said? I don't remember what the autopsy said.
I've never seen it.
Right.
And her family got, I guess, asked for it to be held private, and I think it has been. I don't. But once again, I'm not an internet guy. I don't know. He's probably, I don't know what's forged, what's real. We're hearing about George Bush right now with documents that weren't real about his army guards. So
right.
What's out there about me, or what I've been charged with, or what Liz may have died of? I have no idea whether that's true or false. Her family's very private. She was a private person. I'm a private person, and I respect that. And she. Her family wanted everything to remain private. That's why I never spoke out. I never tried to defend myself, not defend myself, say anything, because I respect her memory, because I loved her very much and her family. You know.
What did you go through the next 24 hours with all of that, as far as?
Oh, it was rough, man, because they tore my house apart and did stuff that I felt on 99.999% of 911 calls would have never been done if it wasn't Lex Luger.
Right.
So instead of being able to mourn someone I loved very much, it was a sitting in jail cell, so it was rough.
How did you handle that mentally?
Like I said, you got to get through what you get through, man. You know, I got 2 kids to support, and you got to try to move on. You know, got to take the good with the bad. You know.
Huntsville, Alabama. I was Elizabeth and I, God rest her soul. She should be here, by the way. We were in Huntsville in the dressing room, and we were doing TV taping. And she said, "Sherri, I got something to tell you." And I said, "What?" And she knew I was kind of bummed out because, it wasn't the fact that I was dropping the title. I mean, when they give you a title, it's a cool thing. It is an honor to do it. But my life did not revolve around being a champion. However, my life did revolve around having a job. And so usually when somebody, when they drop the title or something, and there weren't that many lady wrestlers at the time and everything else, so I figured they were just going to let me know. So I was kind of down the depths. So Elizabeth, she pulls me on the side, puts her arm around me, and she says, "Sherri." And I said, "Yeah, I got something to tell you." I said, "What is it?" She says, "You're going to be working with Randy." And I said, "Huh?"
What?
And she says, "You're going to be working with Randy." And I said, "Well, where are you going?" And she says, "Well, Randy and I are busting up. They're going to split us up right now. I'm going home for a while." I said, "Well, how do you feel about me doing this? Are you comfortable with me working with your husband?" And she says, "Yes, I trust you, no problems." And I said, "Well, if you think that it's okay, it'll be a good job, and you trust me and your husband, and that's fine." It didn't bother me, except to the point where it started involving me. See, we were doing a TV taping in one of the arenas. I can't remember which one it was, but they had to build our dressing room. And so after they got finished building it, we'd have our little space off, and had a locked door and everything. Well, you know how Vince is; he does everything. So we get up there, and we're in the dressing room, and Liz and I, and Randy comes in. We're going over our finishes and everything on the show. And when we leave, he leaves. He locks the door behind. So I'm okay for a few minutes, and then I start looking around, and then it seemed like all these walls started closing. I'm claustrophobic. I don't like small spaces, and I don't like being locked in. So what I proceeded to do, I had my wrestling boots on at the time. What I proceeded to do was kick the damn door out. And Randy looked, and he says, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "Don't ever lock me in a room again.
All right.
I don't care who you are, what you're doing, who you're trying to lock in. Don't include me." And so at that particular point in time, he never locked me in another room again. As far as the thing with Elizabeth, let me just say this. Both of them were Scorpios, and they were both overprotective of each other and both very jealous, but I knew that they loved each other very much too.
Right.
And sometimes when you love someone so much, you don't realize what you're doing. even if you think it's in their best. Jim was a perfectionist, as was Randy. The thing that I remember most about Randy was getting ready for the Los Angeles pay-per-view. And I remember riding in the limo with Jim to a town one night, and he telling me that Randy faxed him 30 pages of a match.
That's what he did with Ricky Steamboat for WrestleMania 3.
Yes, he did. But look at the outcome.
Oh, it was, yeah.
So that just goes to show you the depth that these guys go to in order to please that audience that are buying those pay-per-views. I can honestly say in my heart, when Randy and Warrior and I were all out there and then this came back, I can honestly say that everything that we did was to make sure that that audience enjoyed that match and that it was something that would be remembered for all times. It was sad because, like, in working with these guys, you form a bond in a relationship with them as working friends. You know, we all cried. Randy, I went through a really bad time with an ex. I was ready to have a nervous breakdown, and Randy and Liz helped me very much. They were always there, always. Liz was wonderful. I was so worried about her being jealous because I was working with her husband. She became one of my dearest friends. We were sad when we were breaking up, but we knew in the beginning when we started that all things come to an end.
Right.
And it came to a good end. An unwanted end, but we realized that it was time for us to move on, and Vince had other storylines that he was ready to go with. And that was when Randy and Liz got back together. And so I'm happy to say that I would let that lady hit me with anything that she wanted.
Huh.
She could hit me with a purse, she could hit me with a 2x4, she could get a sledgehammer. I would take anything for that woman. I would have taken anything and done anything for her and him at the time. They were very big influences in my life. They really were. They helped me not only in my professional life, but in my personal life as well.